All hits, all the time. Star 98.3, 4 minutes after 8 o'clock, 8:04. We have yet another guest in the studio, Chris Chaffee, who is representing the people of District 5. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, T-Bone. Good morning, Heather.
Hi, good morning. So nice to have you with us this morning. So let's get right to it. You are running for the 5th Congressional seat held by Steny Hoyer. You're running on the Republican ticket. Primary is coming up on Tuesday. How's the campaign going?
Campaign is going excellent. I've got a lot of people working for me. I want to thank everybody that's coming out. We're doing a lot of sign waving, door knocking, and I want to thank the Republican Party. They're working so hard to get everybody elected this year, so thank you.
So you're out there, you're slugging away, and I've said to other candidates who might be vying for that seat as well, a very, very steep hill. Steny Hoyer has been there for a number of years, 32, 33 years, something like that. And I think he's a very popular candidate. So how do you deal with something like that?
How do you beat him?
I don't think it's as steep of a hill as you think. I think he is over the hill now. He's been there for 33 years. He has forgotten his constituents down here in the Southern Maryland area. And I believe people, even in Prince George's County, are ready for him to go. So how do you beat him? One person at a time. Every Republican, I need you to get out and vote for me. And every Democrat that's listening to your show, I need you to get out and vote.
So, and that is a big thing during the primary because the primary has such low numbers of voter turnout. Do you think that if the people in District 5 actually make an appearance at the polls, that this, and I hate to bring up the whole Cantor thing, I feel bad for him, but that this could be a Cantor-esque type of thing? If the voters come out, whether it's, an R or a D or somebody who wants change, that change could happen?
I believe people in the United States of America are tired of the system right now. They know Washington is broken, and they have to get out and vote to fix this. If they don't get out and vote to fix this, we can't fix it ourselves.
Now, I have your webpage up here, right, and then you have a list of things that you hold as priorities. And I see, the third or fourth one down, you have term limits. Let's say you win. How many terms are you going to stay in?
Well, if I get in, I'm expecting to stay 3 terms at the maximum. I believe when Steny got in there, he never expected to stay there for 33, 34 years and be a career politician, but maybe he did. But I expect no more than 3 terms.
Okay, and what do you hope to accomplish in 3 terms?
I hope we can get our economy back going. We can get jobs growing. We can get everybody back to work. That's the first thing we should be working on across the United States. People are still losing their homes. People are still losing their jobs. If we don't get the economy back in the United States, we're going to be right here where we are 7 years from now.
Okay, easy said. How do you do it?
How do you do it, Chris?
Cut taxes. We must cut taxes to large corporations. We must get the large corporations to bring their money back to the United States. They bring their money back to the United States, they'll grow their economy. They'll go out and they'll start hiring people, and that's how we do it.
Okay, let me be devil's advocate here. Big corporations, they are evil, and that's all we hear. That's all we hear up one side and down the other.
Right.
Let's set taxes aside for a second and address this when it comes to big corporations. Let's say you could wave a magic wand and create a tax environment that would be enticing to a company to come to, say, Maryland. You also have the hurdle now. Everybody's screaming for higher minimum wage. So even if you could offset the taxes somehow, you still have the problem of a company coming here and dealing with wages that make it unprofitable when you're comparing it to, say,
50
somewhere
cents an
offshore.
hour in China.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's not just large corporations. We've got to help the small business guys. The small business guys are the backbone of this country. And the small business guys are the ones being attacked on the higher minimum wage. Mm-hmm. But it's not just the higher minimum wage. Under the Affordable Care Act, they cut 5 hours of work hours. If we can just go back to the 40-hour work week, and if you calculate the difference between the 5 hours that you're losing and that 5-hour work week, then you're going to be offsetting the difference of the minimum wage, and the small business guy won't be hurt so bad. So we definitely need to go back to the 40-hour work week. We need to attack the Affordable Care Act. We must attack this Affordable Care Act.
How do you do that?
We have to amend it. The Affordable Care Act was an unjust law. It was an unjust law passed by Congress, pushed through Senate, went to the president. The president then took it and changed it and changed it and changed it. And when he changed it all these several times, it made it an unjust law. And when it makes it an unjust law, it's something that can be beatable. It's something that we can overturn. It's ruining our health care system.
One thing I was interested about the affordable health care is when you look at all the exemptions in it. When you look at the companies and the unions and some people that are exempt, it's hundreds of thousands of people that are exempt from it, and I don't understand why these exemptions are granted.
That's exactly what makes it an unjust law. As soon as he changed it, as soon as this bill was passed, and as soon as he changed it, it makes it an unjust law. So if anything comes out of this, I hope the Congress and Senate look at this as an unjust law and attack it under that way.
Let's delve a little bit into your background. What tell us about Chris Chaffee? What's your story?
Chris Chaffee is a husband for 29 years, is a father of 4 daughters, a newly grandfather of 2 grandsons. Yes,
congratulations!
It's excellent, excellent. It's my favorite thing in the world. I'm a builder right here in St. Mary's County, Calvert County. I deal with political stuff with the counties and the state level.
When you say a builder, in what capacity?
Build homes.
Homes, okay,
I'm
good.
a home builder.
Good.
And developer. And being a home builder and developer, you deal with the county and the state agencies every day.
Yeah, zoning and whatnot and permits and all that kind of stuff.
That's correct. And that's what got me into the political arena. It's just keep on fighting and keep on fighting. And I believe every American out there, every Maryland out there, we must keep the fight going if we don't.
And I'm speaking very generic terms here, but I mean, this is something that, as a builder, you can speak to. Don't you get the sense that as a businessman in Maryland, whether you're a builder or you own a deli, whatever you do for a living, the government, whether it's state government or federal government, they're supposed to be there to help you. And now I think a lot of business people go, oh my God, I gotta clear this hurdle of the government. Somehow I gotta find a way to get around, over, or by the very government that should be there helping you. I see it as an obstacle to business. Is that off the mark?
Yeah, that's correct. The government is over-regulating everything it touches. And every time they add a regulation, it's costing Maryland and it's costing Americans more and more and more and more tax revenue has to be generated. They want to tax everything. I know on your earlier show you were talking about the 5 cent or 2 cent or whatever it's going to
whatever it's going to be, yeah.
Who knows?
Every time you tax somebody, every time you add a regulation, it just costs the small businesses and costs the people in America. So
I don't think people get that. Honest to God,
I think they do. I think they do. They just don't know how to fight it. And how they fight it is they vote the incumbents out. If we come out and we show and we vote the incumbents out each election, then it will send the message across the United States for these guys not to put these frivolous regulations in effect. And it's just one thing after another. You know, every regulation that we're being attacked on in Maryland and in the United States is just holding us back. And if we don't stop doing this, and it starts in Maryland, it starts in the federal government, it starts in each township, each county, but we are under attack as Americans.
Let me ask you this, Chris, because especially in Southern Maryland, we are steeped in the military.
Yep.
Military bases, military infrastructure, contractors who live and work and their kids go to school here. How do you protect the bases like Indian Head and Pax River from a BRAC? I mean, is there a way for you, for a congressperson, to actually protect that? One
of the things that, and I've said this to other candidates who have come in here that are vying to take Stenny's seat, you know, Stenny has been masterful in promoting and protecting the base. At least that's the perception. So, you know, I think that would be something that would be on people's mind. Well, if we vote Stenny out, what happens if the base goes away?
Steny Hoyer sends a message to everybody that he's the only one that has protected Pax River, Indian Head. But Pax River was there for 71 years. I will do everything in my power to protect Pax River and to protect Indian Head and to protect other bases in the United States. A strong military is a strong military. When we show a strong military, we do. We're showing, you know, to the rest of the world that, you know, we want peace. But when we show a weak military, like we have been doing in the last couple of weeks, we've been showing a lot of weak military options. Crimea, Ukraine, now Iraq is starting to back up.
Is that a military weakness, or is that an administration? Is that the commander-in-chief? Is it his weakness, or is it?
It's the commander-in-chief's weakness, but it starts in Congress. It starts in Senate. You know, if you're in Congress, you have to scream about it. You have to be the guy that's going to be out there screaming about it. And to go back to Brack, it's the same thing. When Brack is talking about adjusting military bases, you know, you have to be the congressman who's going to jump all over Brack and say, no, we're not going to let you take Pax River. We're not going to let you take Indian Head. And that's what we have to do. And that's how a congressman keeps his military bases strong. And we must keep our military strong in the United States. Very important.
Let me ask you this, because we talked a little bit about this off air. As a member of Congress, which you're hoping to hold that seat, let's talk about the relationship with other countries that are so close to us, Mexico, Central America, and what's going on with these children, this influx of, they're saying almost 90,000 children before the end of the year being brought and pushed over our borders. What do you do with a situation like that? That's a huge. Barbara Mikulski is saying, bring them to Baltimore. Bring those kids to Baltimore. We'll take care of them. Other people are saying we need to find a way to... Huh?
I don't know how we're going to afford that.
Well, I mean, what do you do? I mean, that is a situation where you're working with Homeland Security. I mean, this would be in your wheelhouse. How do you...
Heather, I love Spanish people. I love them. I'm a Catholic. And, you know, my priest would be very upset if I went against the Spanish people. But we must send the message to Mexico, Honduras, and Guatemala that we're going to send them back. If we would have sent this message when the influx came over here and they keep coming over the border, if we send this message, then they'll stop coming over here. So what is the real picture? Why did they really come over here? Where did they all come from? All of a sudden, we had all these Spanish kids coming across the border. Where did they come from? So I think that's the real question we should be asking. Where did they come from? Whose families have they come by? And how do we fix the problem over in Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras so they won't keep coming over here? Because we can't afford them to keep coming over, and we can't afford for people to come across the border each time.
Well, we have a situation in South and Central America right now where the entire region, and you know, that's another thing that needs to be addressed. You have to stop dealing with this with kid gloves. The entire region is under the control of drug cartels, and any kind of pseudo government that Mexico, Guatemala, or Nicaragua has is simply a government in show only. They have no power. They do not control the country. The countries are controlled by the drug cartels. And there's a myriad of evidence that shows that the drug cartels are the ones responsible for dumping these children on our border. For twofold. One,
who says that? I've never heard that drug cartels were bringing...
You're not listening to the right people. Namely,
I don't know who you're listening to.
Me. The drug cartels are doing it for two very distinct reasons. One of their primary sources of income is human trafficking. The other source is to establish a conduit here in the United States where they can then import people and drugs. If they have... And it's bad to say this of children, but when they have an agent inside the country, you have a conduit into this country. And that is what's happening, as I see it. And that's something that I think our government needs to address.
And you're saying send them back.
Right. Yeah, we do not need to add to our drug trafficking. You know, and if that's what they're being sent here for, to join gangs and to sell drugs on the street, we do not need to add to that. They are, you know, young children, and
they're being taken advantage of.
They're being taken advantage of, and we need to protect them. But we also need to get to the root of the problem. And if the drug cartels are doing this, I think it's our government to stop the drug cartel immediately.
Yeah, you want to talk about a situation that needs to be dealt with. That's a situation. Let's get some drones to work there.
Yeah.
You want to find the drug cartel? It's the big hacienda on the hill.
We need to concentrate on what the real issues are here in America, and I think we're getting off of we keep coming up with different things every day. It's another issue for Congress and Senate, and I think we're getting blindsided. And I think we all need to open up our eyes, get back to basics. Let's get our economy going in the United States. Let's strengthen our military. Let's protect our veterans.
I want to talk about veterans.
All right.
Do you support, Chris, having veterans bypass the VA and going to local hospitals? Like going to, like if you're a veteran and you got an issue and you can't get into Baltimore to have anybody see you for, you know, however long, a month, okay, 30 days. But St. Mary's Hospital or a local doctor or physician can see you in 2 days would you support the VA giving that doctor or hospital a payment for taking care of that veteran?
Yes, I would. I would support that.
That seems like
And
a no-brainer.
I believe, though, the real question is, did the administration really do this to the veterans on purpose to push them into the Affordable Care Act? Is that what this whole thing's about? If he can take the veterans and push them into the Affordable Care Act, he has just added into the Affordable Care Act, and it makes it look like his Affordable Care Act's working. Now, we all know the healthcare system was broke. We all know it was broke, and it was getting more expensive. But this wasn't the way to do it. Force it on the American people. And when he forces it on the American people, it really breaks our Affordable Care Act. It's really going to break the healthcare system across the United States. So, yes, I would help the veterans in any way possible. They're risking their lives every day.
Mm-hmm. Or they have, right?
Yes, every day. So yes, I would do whatever it takes.
So we got a couple more minutes here. What do you want to get across? Your message. Tell us about Chris Chaffee. Why should we be voting for you?
I think my message is the career politician Steny Hoyer has been there too long. We definitely have to elect a new congressman to represent Southern Maryland and Prince George's County. And if we do not do this, we're going to have another 2 years of a whole lot of nothing. We have to work together with Democrats and Republicans, and we have to get working again. We have to get this country moving in the right direction, but it has to be done now. It can't be done 2 years from now. It can't be done 4 years from now.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm sure you've been out there knocking on doors, and I'm only doing this for my own kind of knowledge. Mark Fisher was in here earlier, and he said one of the most disturbing things he's found as he's out knocking on doors is the amount of people who have designs on leaving this state. Have you found that in your campaign as well?
Yes, I find that a lot of federal workers, all they're thinking about is their retirement, and when they think about the retirement being taxed by the feds, and we're chasing them out of Maryland. We have to fix this. We cannot allow Marylanders to leave Maryland. We want them to stay.
That's the tax base,
That's our tax base. They make good money here. Their families are here. Their friends are here. We want them to stay. Mm-hmm. So I will do everything in my power to fix that and to keep them here in Maryland.
Okay, now there is a scandal that T thinks is going on with you, and we need to talk about it, and that is that you were, is this true, a coach for soccer?
Oh, I love soccer.
Oh,
well, let me ask you.
I was scandalous.
Why do you hate America, Chris Chaffee?
I don't hate America.
Why soccer?
Why would you coach soccer?
I love soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was 6 years old.
Really?
And I coached, me and my wife, we've coached in Calvert Soccer Association and Parks and Recs.
Big volunteer over there.
15 years. I love coaching soccer, and I actually was talking to a lot of kids on the campaign trail about soccer, and it's a great sport.
Are you watching the World Cup?
Yeah, in the World.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Soccer is America now.
Oh my God!
T, I told you.
Why don't we all just go to an intersection with a circle in it and we'll have tea?
Well, matter of fact, I tell you what, I think we should have a ball right now and we can kick it around the studio a little bit.
There you go. That's what we could do. Now listen, let me ask you another question. Lighten it up just a little bit. You were born in Syracuse, New York. Are you an Orangeman fan?
Yes, I do like Syracuse.
Oh, yes, Syracuse coming into the ACC, right, as Maryland's leaving, unfortunately, but you are an Orangeman fan.
Yes, but I did work at University of Maryland and went to University of Maryland.
Oh, so you're a Terps fan, too.
Worked with Lenny Baez. It was a good experience. So,
okay.
Yes, I'm definitely a Terps fan.
Excellent. Now, also, I want to ask you if you're making yourself a ham sandwich, okay?
Okay.
Are you using mayonnaise, or are you using Miracle Whip on that sandwich, Chris?
Wow, that's a good question. Neither.
Are you
I think I'm going to grilled cheese it.
Yeah.
You're going to grilled cheese it. All right.
I think I'll be a ham and grilled cheese guy.
Totally, yes. That's the first one we've had, a grilled cheese there. That's perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Chris, I appreciate you coming in. Good luck with your campaign.
Hey, and I want to thank everybody, and come out and vote June 24th. Today is the last day of early voting.
Right,
so if you can get out, that would be great.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
because early voting is a little low, so it would be great if people out there could find out where their early polling place is and get out today. Today is the last day to early vote.
Yes, and God bless America, and thanks again for inviting me.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Good time. Thank you.
I don't know about that soccer thing, but all right, 8:24. Let's get a check of traffic, see what's going on the roads.
I love soccer.